Well, guys, ChaseWins.com, Venture Sports Consulting. Happy Friday, everyone. It's my favorite day of the week. Did not get to do a video for you for Thursday, but it's okay. Very busy day, another great day. So let's go ahead and do a recap for Wednesday's games and Thursday's games. Get you on a free play for Friday. That way we don't miss any of the recap action. Um, Last video that we did was for Wednesday. And so that way, leading up, Sunday, great day. Monday, we actually went 1-1. Tuesday, great day. And it's been a great week. Haven't had a losing day since Saturday, where we cashed a top play, but we lost some premium plays. But it's okay. Losing days are going to happen. But one difference that sets us aside from so many other services is the fact that, the humility's there. We're not going to hide from a losing day. When we have a losing day, it's there. We bounce back from it and we carry it on winning day after winning day after winning day, ensuring that profit is turned for the week, for the month, for the season, and so on. So let's get on a recap for what we did on Wednesday, since I haven't done that yet. Then we'll say what we did for Thursday, get you on a free play for Friday, and then tell you a couple of things that we've got going on. Let's see here. Let me pull up these lines too to see what lines we're going to be getting for the free play. Okay, so for Wednesday, we had one free play in MLB, which was the Colorado Rockies game, which started out good. The Rockies were handling business, but they ended up getting beat by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, we had the Colorado Rockies as a small home dog at plus $1.10. Now, I'll say this. One thing that I really like about the way that Arizona played that game and the way they played so many games is that they do not accept their fate. They are going to play until the game's over. And like so many teams will do, which in baseball is a lot smarter to do so than to not do it, especially with the way that the seasons are stacked up in any given baseball season because of how many games you play. And, the average team is going to play 6 games in 7 days, is to not go out there and burn through so many of your assets in one game. Sometimes you just have to accept your fate. Sometimes you just have to accept that loss and move on to ensure that you're not putting yourself in a bad position for the following day, the following series, and so forth. I don't agree with the way that the Diamondbacks do it a lot of days because they'll burn through their entire pen in one night just to try to win a game. Long term, looking at the season for what it is that smart? No. But do I like it? Yes, because they're only worried about the here and now. And that's why they have won games that they've won this year where they're all but beat. And they weren't all but beat by the Rockies, but the Rockies controlled the pace from the very first pitch. They were winning the entire game. And then when the Diamondbacks had made the decision that we're not walking out of here until the game's over, they went out there and they took control, and they ended up beating Colorado pretty severely. But again, you kind of put an asterisk by that because it is Coors Field, because, like I said, we could be playing Pee Wee ball out there and people are going to go yard. So we did drop the free play, but it happens. Free plays have been phenomenal for the season. But we get into what really matters, the premium plays. We had we have one premium play in the MLB and one top play, and then we had one premium play in the NHL, which I gave you for free. The NHL, we had the Philadelphia Flyers on the money line at minus 140. That was a free play that I also gave you on that video. That was a nice winner there. So they took a 1-0 lead in the series. Then we jump over into Major League Baseball. The premium play that we have was the Atlanta Braves and the New York Yankees over 8.5 runs at minus $1.25. So it was a tiny bit chalky based on what a typical total would be. But we took the over. That ended up cashing. Started out hot. 4 runs. In the first inning or the first 2 innings, and then, jumped up to 6 runs really fast. And then there was a dull period where nothing was being scored. Good defensive play by both teams, but in the end, it ended up coming through and going over. That was only our second totals play of the season in MLB, putting us at 2-0 there. And then we had our third top play of the MLB season that same night, which was the Houston Astros on the run line minus $1.05 as a top play with Greinke and Cahill on the mounds. So easy win there. I think the Astros ended up winning 5-1 in that game, so that puts us perfect in MLB totals, and that also put us 3-0 perfect in MLB top plays. So a 3-0 day in premium and top plays, but we did drop the free MLB play, excuse me. So now let's get into what we did for Thursday, and it was a very small slate of Major League Baseball games. There wasn't a ton of games across the board. NBA was about its normal, but a very small slate of MLB games, and that's about the third time that we've had that this year, and it's all been because of how everything goes for these games being postponed, and so eventually you just run into a day where there's not a lot to choose from. It took me following these games all day long. So many bullpens were making adjustments. There were teams making changes within starting pitching and then going back to their original notion or their keeping on schedule. So until about 4 o'clock this afternoon, I had no way of saying, okay, I'm solidifying this, because things were changing back and forth. Things were undecided. Things were kind of up in the air. But finally, at about 4 o'clock, things started to kind of pan out. We didn't play any of the early games on the premium card. So we get into the actual premium card. We had 3 plays: one in the MLB, one in the NBA, and one in the NHL. In the NHL, that was the only loss that we took. Did we have the right team? Yes. Did we win in that regard? Yes. But the Las Vegas Golden Knights were minus 200 on the money line. They opened up at minus 180, and they got bet all the way up to 200, which is understandable. Now, the thing is, I think what a lot of people were thinking was going to happen was that they were going to go out there and play and dominate like they did in the first game against Chicago in this series. I got a ton of emails going, why aren't you just taking the puck line? Minus 1.5. We can get plus money. You don't have to worry, it's the smarter play. I said it's not, because even though Chicago is not as dominant of a team as we saw in 2015, a lot of that talent's still there. The captain duo of Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane is still one of the most dominant duos in all of hockey. Corey Crawford, even though he has struggled in recent seasons, is still one of the most experienced and one of the most trustworthy goalies out there. And Chicago is one of the best teams in all of hockey to be able to figure out a team when they're playing them and knowing that they get to catch them in a very short amount of time again. When you're playing in a series, that's what you get. So, did I expect Chicago to win? Absolutely not. Did I expect Vegas to be able to trounce on them like they did in Game 1? Absolutely not. That's why I refused to play the puck line. We took the money line, but minus 200, get real. We're not going to take that. We took them in regulation. We got it at $1.10, and they started out with quick 2-0. But then again, like I said, Chicago figured them out. They put up 2 quick goals. Vegas scores again. Chicago comes right back. Vegas ended up winning the game 4-3, which was about the score that we expected. Vegas winning by 1, but it happened in overtime. So we did drop that game. Like I said, we were on the right team. We had the right play. But to get value out of the line, we had to take them in regulation, to not lay minus 200, to only lay the $1.10. And because it went into overtime, we ended up dropping the game. So we dropped that. We get into the NBA, which is the biggest joke line of the day. I don't know what odds maker decided that this was a good line. I don't know if they were trying to trick people, because they were, there was a legacy and a dynasty at stake. Greg Popovich, the best coach in the NBA, one of the best ever. Playoff after playoff after playoff after playoff. He had to win today. They were taking on the Jazz, laying 9 points. The Jazz were the better team in this spot. The Jazz should have been laying 3.5 points per my numbers. I came so close to just taking the Jazz on the money line at plus 325 at the time, but because this NBA bubble is so finicky, because teams are playing with zero defense whatsoever, which isn't completely out of the normal for the NBA. But, even for NBA standards, they're not playing defense. And there's just too many unknowns as to what product you're going to get on the court that night. So the smartest play was to take the 9 points, kick back, and watch it unfold. I didn't even watch the entire game. I watched a total of about 2.5 quarters, but from tip-off to the very end of the game, the Jazz were leading. They were dominating most of the game by double digits, and they ended up winning the game outright, catching 9 points. That right there was the easiest call of the day. The only thing that I was concerned of is, what are we not seeing here? What's going on with the Jazz that has not been released, that nobody's talking about, that nobody knows of yet? And it ended up not coming. So finally, as I was releasing the card, I said, either I'm getting ready to get bit in the ass here because something has happened behind closed doors that nobody knows about, and we're not going to know it until tip, or somebody fell asleep at the wheel creating this line. And it ended up being the latter. We took them +9. They won outright. Easiest game of the day. Until we get into my MLB premium selection. We had the Reds and we had the Pirates over 8.5 runs. Now, this was a game that was sitting at 8 runs at the start of the day. I saw it as high as 9 at one point, but then pretty much 8.5 across the board at the time that I released it and the time that I bet it. And of course, that's what William Hill, which is who we go off of, had it at. There were 2 bullpen changes made by Pittsburgh that went from this game being a lean to pushing it right there at that premium category. But the starting pitching was already in favor, but there was a question. 3 pitchers warmed up for this game. You see, Cincinnati-wise, 3. Even though they had their pitchers marked, why do you have 3 starters warming up? Burning energy, burning pitches. And I said, okay, are they going to let somebody throw 1 inning and then turn it over? None of those pitchers are that type of pitcher. So after further research, changes are being made, and we were about 45 minutes to an hour prior to game time, the stars just aligned. I said, this game's going over. It's going to go over with ease. And I really think that, and truth be told, it's set up for a perfect storm for Pittsburgh. But I knew one of these teams was going to come alive and have 1 to 2 dominant innings that was going to be the deciding factor in this game. Lo and behold, the game starts. In the second inning, we reached double-digit runs. So we had over 8.5. It was sitting at 10 runs in the second inning. Easiest MLB premium play you would have ever won. So congrats to everyone there. Another 2-in-1 day. Another sweep in the MLB, as we like to always do. So another great day. Like I said, haven't had a losing day since this past Saturday, and we don't plan on having one for Friday. So Friday, there's a big slate of games. There's a lot on the line on Friday. Now, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt here. No, nothing means playoffs yet. No, we're not that far along. But the teams that are going out and playing within their division or some interleague matchups, there's a lot on the line here. Teams that are starting to come to form, teams that are starting to fall apart, teams that are starting to try out adjustments that they have made. A lot is going to go on this weekend that you're going to want to pay very close attention to, because you're going to see this be laying the foundation, laying the groundwork for what's to come the remainder of the season with some teams. And you're also going to prove some things that I have said in previous videos this year about certain teams being kind of a flash in the pan with the success they're having. That will be proven true this weekend, you mark my words. So before we get into a free play, what you can expect this weekend: NASCAR, horse racing, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, everything. Top plays, premium plays, the works. $50 will get you 3 days. $99 will get you 7 days. And I'm going to go ahead and do one thing that I said that I wasn't going to do. I'm going to drop the price of the month pass by $50, and that's going to put it at $350. Keep in mind, it costs you $99 to get 7 days of my plays in all sports. It's less than $100 a week, guys. You can get everything, all sports. The only thing it doesn't include is NASCAR. That is separate. or any games of the week, month, or year, which those are few and far between. And those are games that rank as high as anything ever could. So that's not something that happens very often. But all premium and daily top plays in all sports other than NASCAR you get for 30 days for $350. That is going to run until midnight Eastern time on Friday. So make sure you jump on that. And then, like I told you guys, we're going to be starting something new with me coming out and doing extra videos. The segment is called the Scouting Report. So it's going to be a little mini show that I do a few times a week, and on the days that I do it, I'll do it once, twice, hell, maybe even 3 times. So you're going to get your official free play here on this video where we do the breakdowns, the recaps, and everything. And then in another 1, 2, maybe even 3 videos that are going to be anywhere from 4 to 7 minutes long, I'm going to choose another game that I see a lot of interest in. There's going to be a ton of action on the game. People are going to be interested in the game. It's just going to be a game that draws a lot of interest. I'm going to break that game down in detail. I'm going to give you pros. I'm going to give you cons. I'm going to look at it from the side of both teams, and I am going to give you things that you need to be thinking about. It's not going to say, hey, you need to bet this side. This is exactly how I have it labeled, a scouting report. This is for the people that are saying, hey, I'm already looking at this game. I've already made a decision on it. I may bring some things to the table that may open your eyes, might change your mind. It may solidify what you already thought. It may help you make a decision that you were leaning one side or the other. It's just good information to make sure that you're bringing everything that's relevant about this game to the table, and you're not making a decision with leaving something important out. Again, you want your official free play, it's in videos like this, but to get a true breakdown and to really help you with information, we will also have those. Friday is the start of that. I won't tell you what game that it's in now because there could be 2 of them, but you will see that at some point on Friday. And yeah, let's get on a free play. Let's do Major League Baseball. So let me check this line real quick just to make sure that it has not changed. I am betting that. So we do have a line change. Okay, so remember how we just talked about the Reds and the Pirates going over in the second inning? Now, do I think that's going to happen again on Friday? No, not necessarily. You hear that? It's my Alexa. Alexa, turn off. Uncandid, folks. Anyway, do I think that it's going to go over again in the second inning? Not necessarily, because you have 2 pitchers that are very similar to each other going up tonight. Like I said, it was the perfect storm for Pittsburgh to break out like they did. I do think that that could also happen with the Reds on Friday. Hell, it could happen with Pittsburgh again. I think with these 2 pitchers going in, the Pirates going out there and playing as if they have nothing in the world to lose, which really they don't, and the Reds going out there and playing with a sense of urgency. I hope they don't do that too much in the next week because I don't want to see them back themselves into a corner by overextending themselves and it costing them wins that they really need to get. The Reds are the better team in this situation. There's no question about it. But they were the better team in Thursday's situation. They just went out there and the stars aligned. But that's what we wanted. We didn't care on which side. We just knew that the stars were going to align somehow. And that's what took this game over as soon as it started. I think this game's going to go over again. I think it can go over very quickly. We're getting 8 runs on this one. It opened up at 8.5. Right now you can get it at 8 runs at minus $1.20 or minus $1.15 if you take the under. We're going to take the over. You do not have to mark your starting pitchers on this one. It's at your discretion if you want to. The pitchers that obviously I did my report on for this game is Chad Kuhl and Sonny Gray. Now people say, Sonny Gray, he's one of the guys that you don't want to bet against, and going with an over, you're somewhat betting against Gray unless you're doing it all on the side of the Pirates. I'll be honest with you. Even though Cool hasn't started a game this year and he's been like that tandem starter, he's been fantastic. Gray has been good. 35 strikeouts in his 4 starts with like a 2.2 ERA. He's fantastic, but he has struggled. He struggled with his fastball. He had to rely on off-speed pitches his last time out. Do I think that he'll solely rely on off-speed pitches like he did his last game? No, I don't. Do I think that he'll have a off-speed heavy rotation on Friday? Yes, I do. That is where players like Bell and a good portion of that Pittsburgh lineup has a strength. You have that low-hanging fruit for them, they can hit. And even though the Great American Ballpark is more of a pitcher's park, it's wide open like Comerica is. A lot of base hits can happen. People can get into rhythm. And then, of course, all you have to do is give up a couple of homers, which both of these players, well, Cool hasn't as a starter, but I think he does on Friday. A couple of home runs will be what throws this thing over by the 5th. So I like over. I like over just as much as I liked it on Thursday. I don't know that it will happen in the same fashion, but where it ranks in my system, this over ranks just as high as Thursday's did because we're getting it at 8 versus 8.5. So your official free premium play is the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates over 8 runs at minus $1.20. Like I said, guys, you'll be seeing another video from me. Make sure you don't expect a recap or anything because, again, that's all done here. It won't be a free play per se, but it will be an in-depth breakdown that will give you vital information, very good information that you will want to use within your breakdowns if you cap games yourself before you make your final decision. So stay tuned for that, guys. And I'm excited to start doing this new little segment with you. Like I said, Outfielders Anonymous is also coming back. The We Are Sports Foundation is rocking and rolling. We've got some big community projects coming up that we're in the works with right now. And I hope all you guys want to be a part of it with us. If you would like to donate, get some merchandise, anything, reach out to me. Chase at chasewins.com. Follow me on Twitter at PixChase. Whatever you want to do, I'll link you up. The website is done. We are just waiting on the web designer to do 2 things to have all of the merchandise loaded, because right now only about half of the merchandise is on the site, and we decided we didn't want to do the full launch until everything was up there. But it's wearesports.org. we-r-sports.org, and it should be up this coming week. So enough talking, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, catch a few hours of sleep, get up about 5 a.m., and do episode 1 of the Scouting Report. I love you guys. Thank you for another great day. Thank you for all the support. Can't wait to have another great day with you again on Friday, my favorite day of the week, a day that, no matter the time of year, we just win. Love you guys. Hope to see you on board. If you're not, if you have any questions, please reach out to myself or one of my staff, and we will get back to you. I know some people, get irritated when they send an email and they don't have a response within 20 minutes. Just understand, guys, we have hundreds of emails a day. We go through them as soon as we, is in the order that they come in, and as fast as they come in. Sometimes it just takes time. And for myself, when you send an email directly to me and it's something that I personally have to respond to, I don't do stuff like that until after games are up for the day, because the first most important and single thing that I worry about is getting my plays out to my clients and turning a profit. After that, everything else comes. So I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you back again at some point today for another video. See you.